God Logic brought it out earlier. He says one of the reasons why he calls his channel God Logic. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick rundown of this verse real quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, and we're gonna go to verse 18. Y'all don't even know how hard this verse goes. Y'all don't even know. So anyway, for the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Now, what does this mean? So a lot of people read this and they're like, well, isn't it good to be wise? You know, isn't it good to be prudent? That's not what he's talking about. Because we know about the other verses. I'll bring it up, what St. Paul talks about. When we scroll down to verse 23, for Jews, well, we go verse 22. For Jews request a sign and Greeks seek after wisdom, but we preach Christ crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, and to the Greeks foolishness. But to those who are called both Jews and Greeks, Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God. So the important thing to notice here is, why is it a stumbling block to the Jews? Because a lot of the Jews thought that, oh yeah, Christ is going to come down and tear stuff up, right? He's going to rule everything when he gets down here. He's going to destroy the Roman army. So when they saw that he was dying, that's a stumbling block to them, right? Now this part, I want y'all to focus on the Greeks, because the Greeks represents most of us, meaning the Gentiles, right? To Greeks is foolishness. Why? Because they follow after wisdom. Now keep in mind, the word wisdom means, you know, or philosophy. We can use philosophy, for instance, means like, you know, the love of like knowledge, right? The love of wisdom. Sophia means wisdom, right? It's the love of wisdom. However, there's the philosophy of men, or the wisdom of men, i.e. what the Greeks were talking about. And then there's the wisdom of God, i.e. Christ, the reason, right? The logos, the word. So basically what these three verses sums up to is, we have to think, why did Christ come down as a man? Because a lot of, you know, Muslims ask us, why did God have to come down as a man, right? Well, think of it this way. As soon as we sinned, we turned into very carnal beings. We turned into pretty much like brute beasts. Only thing is that we had like our rationale, right? We had our logic, right? Yet we didn't use it. We go after things of the flesh. Like, just think about it, right? We like girls, at least men do, because their freaking doo-doo makers are huge, right? Like, why? Like, that doesn't even make sense, right? That's that carnality, you know? We should like girls because of their inside, how they are, how do they reflect Christ, right? But we're just weird, right? Because we follow after those carnal instincts. So, in the same way, God, knowing that, what? We don't follow after the things that we're supposed to, i.e. the wisdom, because what does the Bible say? It says, even though he was in the world did not know him. When was Christ in the world? Christ is the true wisdom of God. Now, since men don't seek after the true wisdom of God, we didn't know him because we sought after our own wisdom. So, what God did? He took on flesh. Because if we like the things of the flesh, if we're carnal, we'll listen to him if he becomes carnal. Because we're simple beings. We don't understand the things of the Spirit. So this is one of the reasons as to why it is foolishness to the Gentiles. It's foolishness to Muslims. It's foolishness to them. Because why would God become a man? Not understanding that we are the ones that are foolish. So in the same way, we can say that God became foolish to enlighten us with wisdom. So by foolishness of God, he gives us wisdom. So by death of God, he gives us life. God uses these opposites to overcome the devil, to overcome Satan. By the way, I did not make this up. This is from St. Augustine on Christian doctrine. So keep this in mind. God uses opposites to destroy the evil. We think according to the flesh. All right, fine. I will go down to the level of my dumb children in the flesh so that they can see, that's God. That's how we're supposed to act. So that we follow after the flesh, right? But in the proper way, we follow after the spiritual man who became flesh, right? God, the Word. So he uses that foolishness in order to bring us salvation. That's what all of this means. That's why it's foolishness. That's why when you look into the church fathers, these verses are actually really deep. But nobody wants to read the church fathers, so y'all be sleeping. But that's why Christ took on flesh. Not for himself, but for us. That's another reason why, Paul said, to the Jew I became a Jew, to the Gentile I became a Gentile. He's saying that, look, if people aren't going to listen to me because I seem too other than them, I seem foreign to them, I seem unlikable to them, let me try and approach them in a proper manner, in a way that's more comfortable for them. So in this way, God also shows us like his supreme love. And he shows us how we're supposed to be to other people who we want to be a part of this supreme love. We're supposed to approach them from a standpoint of like, yeah, we know they say dumb stuff, but they can't help it because they were fed stupidity all their lives. So when people like me, Nick, God, Logic, Elijah, whoever, we do these lives, right? We're not doing it because we hate Muslims, right? We're not supposed to act like we hate them. We're not supposed to get mad at them just because they say dumb things. Why would I get mad at a person for coughing when they're sick? I'm supposed to give them medicine. If I was an impatient doctor, I'm going to leave them to die, to waddle in their own sickness. So that's why it's important that we show love, no matter how hard it is. I'm not saying I do it all the time. I'm just saying that we see the example because God showed us love in our stupidity and sickness. And he still cared. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Hope you guys enjoyed that little, Bible reflection.